Hello, everybody, and welcome to the special 2022 Tokyo Game Show edition of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about Japan-developed video games and other things in relation to them. I almost forgot what the thing was.
It's been so long, people.
Yeah. As always, I'm your host, Erroll Moss, and with me is my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey.
And like I said, we're talking about all the stuff that happened at Tokyo Game Show and related stuff.
Yeah,
We don't usually do news podcasts, but like for this event, for a Japan-centric podcast, kind of required, I would think.
I mean, we used to do news. It's just that we shifted focus.
And it's Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a shame if we didn't cover it.
Yeah.
Were there any standouts for you this game show?
I mean, we'll get into it because this was a week ago at this point at the time of recording.
Yeah, but
but
anything that was like so big that it just jumped at you in terms of newsworthiness.
There's some stuff I'll talk about later, but not quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, let's talk about the little bit of Tokyo Game Show attendance and what's going on in Japan.
All right. So first up, we have Tokyo Game Show 2022. Attendance fell 47% from 2019 to 138,192 people. This comes to you from Shack News by, where's your name? TJ Denzer. Tokyo Game Show 2022 has fully come and gone at this point. It was a pretty good week of showcases that saw a lot of exciting games revealed, and even the on-site event returned this year. However, as exciting as it was to see Tokyo Game Show 2022 come back, it can be said that the show isn't back to the capacities it had in previous years, before the COVID-19 pandemic. The official attendee numbers for TGS 2022 were revealed and were down around 47% from the attendance of Tokyo Game Show 2019. These details were shared by the Tokyo Game Show organizers themselves in a recent press release. According to set release, Tokyo Game Show 2022 was attended by 138,912 people overall across all days of the event, which returned with an on-site experience for the first time in several years. While that's still a lot of people, it was quite a bit down from the last time TGS had a physical event, boasting 262,076 people in attendance at TGS 2019. So this isn't like super surprising to me because
No,
we're recovering from 2 years of a pandemic. Most people,
an ongoing pandemic.
Yeah, it's people are still trying to feel it out, and it's also Japan is opening up slowly, so maybe that had an effect on things.
I was surprised to see how many Western media people went this year, to be honest.
I mean,
I know they went before, but I just mean like this year in particular, I was a little surprised to see.
Yeah, I think from the big media houses, Kurt Indovina from GameSpot, shout out to Kurt and his fabulous mustache, Kat Bailey from IGN, and Imran Khan from RIP Fanbyte.
Formerly a Fanbyte. Yeah.
So
Go check out the Fanbyte people on their various social media pages and stuff.
There's also a hashtag
and the
wasn't it layoffs at Fanbyte?
Hire Fanbyte?
No, it's layoffs at Fanbyte.
Oh, I thought Greg started like a Hire Fanbyte.
No, it's a different
thing.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's understandable, not totally surprising to me. Almost down 50% is a lot, and organizers are rightfully scratching their heads at what to do next, hoping it'll pick up in the coming years, but who knows? Yeah. Next up, we have Japan to remove daily entry cap, ease entry restrictions for tourists on October 11th. This is from Anime News Network, brought to you by Alex Mateo. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced in a press conference in New York on Thursday that Japan will remove its daily entry cap on October 11th, further easing anti-infection border controls and allowing tourists to enter Japan without sponsors, quote-unquote. I don't know what sponsors means in this context.
It was you had to, I forgot, I forgot if it was for work reasons or something, but you had to get a spot, was it like a travel agency or something to help sponsor you? And you had to, apparently do like a predetermined tour, like a predetermined type of thing.
Basically have someone be responsible for you.
Something like that. Okay. I don't know all the details, but from some of the Japanese YouTubers I watched, that was the gist of it, I guess.
Okay. Well, the government also plans to resume short-term visa exemptions for tourists from 70 countries. Kishida also announced a policy for nationwide travel support and event business discounts for October 11th. The Japanese government raised the maximum daily number of allowed entries into the country to 50,000 on September 7th. The government also began accepting tourists without in-person guides. A tourism ministry official nevertheless stated at that time that tourists will still require sponsors or a travel agency contact in Japan in order to be permitted into the country. So as you just said, great on some levels.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going for my 30th birthday next year if I feel okay enough.
Yeah, fingers crossed COVID has died down sufficiently at that point.
Gotta, yeah, I still gotta feel things out.
But
I'm like, well, it's not for a while, so
While I'm happy to hear this news, I am also kind of skeptical at the way the Japanese government has handled everything so far.
I'm skeptical of the way every government has handled everything so far.
I mean, aside from that, the way Japan phrases how they view people coming from outside to Japan is very weird, as in the foreigners are the ones bringing the diseases, more or less, which is...
Right.
Huh? What? Okay.
Yeah, I
wasn't aware that Japanese people couldn't spread COVID, but sure. Moving on. Next up,
there's also the fact that the tourism industry is so big in Japan. Like Kyoto was had been going bankrupt or something, is what I heard, because just such a big. Or it was just, I don't know about bankrupt technically, but it's just losing out on a lot of money.
Yeah,
because it's such a.
It doesn't.
Tourist heavy city.
Come too surprising to me. We have seen that a lot of arcades shut down over the last few years, couple years then.
Right.
I mean, it was probably also a growing trend or a downward trend of arcades losing business, but the pandemic exacerbated it to such a degree that they said, you know what, we're gonna shut down or sell our business off to others. Well, anyway,
to more video game centric news, we'll start with the Nintendo Direct that happened during Tokyo Game Show Week. So this comes from IGN by Adam Bankhurst.
Yeah.
It's not an order, but it's just a summary of everything that was in the Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
So first is the sequel to Breath of the Wild is called The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and it's out on May 12th, 2023.
Yeah.
And there was footage of Link exploring Hyrule both on land and in the sky. Gave us a look at a new stasis power and the shattered world that Hyrule looks to have become. Also featured a bunch of skydiving and Link riding aboard a stone bird of some kind.
Yeah. So a lot of Skyward Sword vibes going on in this trailer.
Yeah, which makes sense why they would have re-released Skyward Sword.
But also, if you
this.
look at the iconography of the mask in the opening, like the symbols and the edges, it gives off a lot of Twilight Princess vibes. And someone even compared it to Majora's Mask and Midna's Mask. So, lots to think about.
Yeah, and then there's the logo with the Ouroboros and the decaying Master Sword.
Yeah, which, it's decaying again. That Master Sword just can't get a break.
It'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
And do you think the title is why they didn't air the Nintendo Direct in the UK?
I'd say no, because it's a silly reason, but going by the news that came out of England the last 2 weeks, it more or less tracks when it comes to silly reasons.
Right.
Like, health services were closed because the Queen was dead, which...
Yeah, that was a little...
Okay.
Yeah.
It's giving a lot of Monty Python vibes without even meaning to. It's just absolutely ridiculous, but okay.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm not that big of a Breath of the Wild fan, but I'm excited to see what this sequel has in store.
Yeah, I am a big Breath of the Wild fan, so I just want to be in that world and explore it and just chill in it. I'm even tempted to replay Breath of the Wild in preparation for this game, but yeah, that's
Nope, couldn't get me to do that. My Zelda question is, where are these Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD ports we've been hearing about for ages? Do they exist? Are they as mythical as unicorns?
Jeff Grubb recently put out a video where he said that he misheard information and kind of repeated it without verifying it first.
Right, but these rumors go back longer than...
I mean, rumors eventually turn out to be true if you wait long enough. So...
Well, usually. Star Fox Grand Prix isn't a real thing, but...
who knows? Maybe there's this like deep dark vault in Nintendo's headquarters where they just keep all these games prepared and ready to launch, but just to pester us and prove us wrong in our leaking. They're like, no, we're not going to release it now because you have been misbehaving. Will it ever come out? It stands to reason that they will put out eventually everything that was on the Wii U.
Right.
Because the Wii...
Even Devil's Third? I'm just kidding.
I mean...
I'm kidding.
That would take a miracle, but okay. Well, Nintendo did publish Devil's Third on the Wii U, so maybe they see some value in it, but oh well. Will the HD remakes HD remasters of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess come to Switch? I'd say yes, eventually. It's good money.
Just because,
what?
And also the only official way to play them right now is Wii U, and most people aren't playing their Wii U's.
Yes, you're right. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe closer to release, but I don't think that would make a lot of sense because that way you'd be cannibalizing your sales, or you'd be saying like, okay, one Zelda a month
pre-order bonus.
No, like let's say the first 2 months would be Wind Waker HD, and then the next 2 months would be Twilight Princess HD, and at that point you'd eventually be in May and ready for the release of Breath of the Wild 2.
That's
for
true.
Tears of the Kingdom. So we'll see.
But yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. Wind Waker. I've probably said this before on the podcast, but Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game. Mm-hmm. So I really want to play that again.
Yeah, and Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda game. So.
Next, the other big news. I mean, there were 3 really big pieces of big news, and they're all the first things on this article here. Pikmin 4 will finally arrive in 2023. While we didn't learn too much about it, Shigeru Miyamoto stopped by the Nintendo Direct to announce that Pikmin 4... he was in... it's not like he stopped by... whatever. Pikmin 4
Semantics.
will finally be released on Switch in 2023. This news is a long time coming, as Miyamoto had previously stated that the game was very close to completion in 2015. So it definitely... maybe not definitely, but I could have seen it restarting development at some point.
Possibly. I mean, it could also be just an indication of how complex or how ambitious this game is going to be, that it took so long for them to, really finalize it until now, in terms of design, not in terms of development. But yeah, I'm happy for the Pikmin heads out there. I've never played a Pikmin game in my life, so
yeah, I'm not.
I can't make heads or tails if this is a good thing or not. But it looks fun enough. So
I think more Nintendo Switch first party games. I think that's always a good thing.
Yeah, because at a certain point, the third party support is going to dry up as they fully migrate onto the next generation.
Yeah, it's going to dry up, or they're just going to be available everywhere else, so there's not really a reason to get it on Switch.
However, with things like the RE engine, the scalability is pretty impressive. So even if it's on Switch, a PC re-release or a Xbox or PS5 re-release could benefit them in terms of frame rate, added textures, you name it. So it's not really outside the realm of possibility to keep the development going.
Yeah. And the next thing, Fire Emblem Engage announced as a new mainline game, and it features Marth. And everybody I thought this was gonna be like a mobile game because of the title. Because I thought engage in battle, and it made me think of like a tap mobile game or something. And my friend was like, no, like engage like marry, because it's Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
And the rings, they put on the rings.
And the rings,
these two Super Sentai transform to make their stands appear.
Yes. Fire Emblem Engage is the next main entry in the Fire Emblem series, and it will follow a story set 1,000 years after four kingdoms sealed away the great evil known as the Fell Dragon. In Engage, players will become a divine dragon called Alier, who must work to collect emblem rings to bring peace back to the continent of Elios. Along your journey, you will even be able to have other previous Fire Emblem characters join your party, like Marth and Celica. Fire Emblem Engage will be released on Nintendo Switch on January 20th, 2023. I still need to finish 3 houses.
I mean, I finished one playthrough.
Yeah, I haven't even done that.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of video game. There's, you have the 3 main routes in 3 houses.
Right.
And I think like a final route. I'm not so sure. And
then the Ashen Wolves DLC.
Yeah, so there's a lot of content.
And then something about these recent Fire Emblem games is I guess they all have a different like main artist. The main artist for this one is different from the one for 3 Houses, who's different from the one. I don't know if it was I'm not sure about the 3DS ones, but I just know the artist for this one is different from the artist for 3 Houses, because the art style is apparently different, but I couldn't really tell that much. I do know that
the main character is designed by someone else, someone who recently designed a VTuber.
People don't like that hair.
Yeah. I'm not too crazy about the hair choice.
My thing that I thought was funny that I saw somebody say is like, what if the hair color changed based on the color of your Joy-Cons?
That would be cool. And I saw someone post a mock-up of the hair as in a gradient. Like
mine would mine would look exactly the same. Maybe just the sides would be swapped.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Fire Emblem game, so I think it'll be competent enough as a tactics video game. I'm not too crazy about the main character's design, but that's probably just me.
I don't hate it, but I get why people don't like it.
Yeah, I mean it's Crest toothpaste, but as a main character. It's interesting you mentioned a mobile game because it has a lot of, to me, shades of Fire Emblem Heroes, where you also summon heroes from past Fire Emblem games. So maybe was it on the Blood God pod that they speculated that maybe there would be some integration between the mobile game and Engage, which would probably be cool. But yeah, it's looking to be decent enough, so we'll see when it comes out next year.
I saw like the first thing I thought actually was like, oh, Fire Emblem on the N-Gage, and I saw one person, like one YouTuber make that same joke, and I was like, all right, somebody else got it. Good.
Yeah.
Next, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe brings a Wii classic to Switch. Kirby's Return to Dreamland was first released on the Wii in 2011, and 2023 will see it arrive on Switch in a brand new pink puffy package. This updated title features up to 4-player multiplayer and a collection of mini-games like Samurai Kirby and Magolor's Tome Trackers. And you also can be Mecha Kirby, I guess?
Something like that.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I'm excited for that. I wasn't that hot on Forgotten Lands, but this is more my style of Kirby. I never got to play Return to Dreamland, but
really?
I played one of my favorite Kirby games is Nightmare in Dreamland. Which is a Game Boy Advance remake of Kirby's Dreamland 3, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
So you're more of a fan of the traditional Kirby?
Yeah, that, because my two favorite Kirby games are that and Crystal Shards.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And then we have Octopath Traveler 2 announced with new heroes and the same wonderful 2D HD or HD 2D art style. Octopath Traveler 2 will be released on February 24th, 2023, and will bring with it a whole new group of heroes and a brand new story to experience in the world of Celestia. All with the same wonderful art style that set the original apart from other JRPGs. Octopath Traveler will not be Switch exclusive and will also launch on PC via Steam, PS5, and PS4, but not Xbox, although the first game is available on Xbox.
I think it's a matter of time before it comes on to Game Pass.
They just hadn't had like a deal set maybe with them yet or something.
Probably.
And then we have Bayonetta 3. The Nintendo Direct gave fans a new Bayonetta 3 trailer that revealed a bit more about the game that is set to be released on Switch in October 28, 2022. The new footage showed off combat, demon summoning, Bayonetta's transformation abilities, and more. And that comes out, October 28th. I'm excited for that. Final Fantasy
Theatrhythm.
Theatrhythm. Yeah, that's what I thought. Final Bar Line is a celebration of the franchise's music and is out early next year. Final Fantasy Theatrhythm Final Bar Line is the ultimate celebration of the franchise's music, and it's a brand new entry in the series that began on 3DS. This new game will feature 385 songs, and it will let 2 players play locally and up to 4 players online. It will also have a season pass that will add 90 new songs, including some from Nier, Octopath Traveler, and Live Alive. And, as some people pointed out, in the little image that that had a bunch of games listed, it also has Xenogears.
That should be tracking, yes.
So that was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, yeah, I know Square owns that, but still, Xenogears, seeing anything Xenogears in a game, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then they revealed some upcoming Nintendo 64 games, including Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2, which you can't transfer Pokemon to. Yet. GoldenEye, Pilot Wings, Mario Party 1 through 3, 1080 snowboarding, and Excite Bike 64. I'm very excited because if Pokemon Stadium has online, I'm very excited to do that. If they can do it right and I can play it online with a friend, that is great.
I mean, don't all the Switch online games have online multiplayer?
Not all of them. I don't think all of them do.
Okay.
The thing is, Pokemon Stadium 2 is really a really hard game without being able to transfer Pokemon because of the move sets that the rental Pokemon have. So I don't know about that, but I'll try it. But Pokemon Stadium 1, I always have a fun time with that.
Yeah.
Animations are so funny still. Even many years later.
I'd probably play it more for the mini games than anything else.
Oh, the mini games are great too. Yeah. But yeah, I remember when I first saw Pokemon Stadium when I was like 5, and I had been playing like Pokemon Yellow. I was like at Target and saw a demo of Pokemon Stadium, and seeing like the Pokemon in 3D blew my mind.
Yeah, I could imagine that happening.
And then like my friend had one of my cousins had the game, and I was just like, whoa. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And then Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion will be released on December 13th, 2022. Not just for Switch. They just, for whatever reason, they decided to announce the launch date during the direct just is what revealed the launch date, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's a remaster of the PSP Classic, and it may have a new ending. I don't know.
That's the speculation going around.
Speculation.
Square Enix has said it's pretty much a straightforward remaster/remake, and they won't, or they haven't really specifically said that they will or won't be adding anything new to go in line with the remake games, but we'll see soon enough.
Still has one of my favorite fight scenes in all of video games.
Is that
yeah, Genesis, Sephiroth, and Angeal.
Yeah, I was about to say that one. Yeah.
And it'll be nice to actually see that in actual HD now. Actual remaster of that. I mean, I know there are YouTube videos that did that already, but it'll be nice to see that in an official capacity. And then we have Wave 3 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass will include tracks from Mario Kart Tour and Mario Kart DS. Wave 3 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass will launch this holiday and will include 8 courses, including Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour and Peach Gardens from Mario Kart DS. I did like Mario Kart DS. That might have been the first Mario Kart game I owned.
I think it's the only one I never played.
Huh.
Yeah.
Then Nintendo Switch Sports will get its free golf mode this holiday. Nintendo Switch Sports Golf has been delayed to this holiday. When it does arrive as a free update later this year, it'll bring with it 21 holes from the Wii Sports Series and let you play with friends locally or with up to 8 players online in survival golf. But I don't know. Is anybody playing this game anymore? Nintendo Switch Sports really just came and went. They could not.
I mean, I don't think we should be discounting the casual crowd.
No, but it just felt like. It just really felt like it came and went.
I mean, if we watch the mainstream press side of things, we also wouldn't be guessing that Splatoon as a series or franchise would be as big as it is, but
right.
Yeah, so
I've been playing a little bit of that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be discounting it.
I'm more surprised that we haven't been hearing more about it, but it just could, it's not going to mimic the success of Wii Sports, because that was it was kind of a perfect storm combination of things. And then next, Mario Strikers Battle League gets its second free update this month. Mario Strikers Battle League will be getting Oh, they need to edit that. It says will be getting its second free update later this month, and it'll add Pauline and Diddy Kong to the roster. It'll also add gear, a new stadium, striker ranking, more customization options, and more. Diddy Kong, has been in stuff before. Pauline, that's an interesting addition that a lot of fans, I'm sure, are happy about because a lot of people want Pauline and more stuff ever since Odyssey.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Wave 2 of DLC adds a new mechanical hero called Eno. The second wave of DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass will add a new mechanical hero named Eno. It will also add challenge battles and new outfits. The DLC will arrive on October 13th, 2022.
I don't know about you,
Splatoon,
but Eno freaks me out.
Oh, because of the skeletal, yeah.
The skeletal frame is whatever, but the head is too big for that frame. It's just freaking me out.
Splatoon 3's first Splatfest will have Inklings. Choose between gear, grub, or fun. The first Splatfest for Splatoon 3 will arrive soon, and it will ask players to decide if they'd rather bring gear, grub, or fun with them to a deserted island. This first Splatfest will take place on September 23rd and will run through September 25th. And Resident Evil Village Cloud will let Switch owners meet Lady Dimitrescu. Or Dimitrescu? Yeah, I haven't heard it in a while. It's just the cloud version. You could try out a demo right now. And then later there will be cloud versions of Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3 remakes.
Yes.
Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is getting a remake as Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life.
It also
which will be released on Switch in summer 2023, and I'm guessing it's multi-platform, but I don't know.
It also has multiple relationship options, like non-binary.
That's nice.
Same-sex relationships, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We got to the farming section.
Yeah.
There were a handful of farming games in this Nintendo Direct. As I was saying, Fae Farm is an RPG with a mix of magic and, farming.
Uh-huh.
Fae Farm is a farm sim RPG for up to 4 players that mixes the best of magic with the fun of building and caring for your very own farm. Fae Farm takes place in Azoria, and players will need to use their skills to help rebuild the world. I think I'm all farmed out from Dreamlight Valley, to be honest. But, and then Harvestella got a demo. Harvestella was previously announced, and it comes out November 4th. It's another farming game, but it also has
action RPG elements.
Yeah, combat, fighting monsters.
I've seen some early impressions of Harvestella, and they say it's cool as a concept, but it doesn't really gel together just yet.
I have the demo downloaded. I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, same. I haven't given it a shot just yet.
Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse comes to the West. Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which was first released in Japan on the Wii in 2008, never made it to the West, will arrive on Nintendo Switch in early 2023. The story follows Ruka Minazuki, who must travel to an abandoned hospital to use the camera obscura to rediscover her lost memories and repel the evil spirits that try to get in her way. And then some third-party games, Tunic, It Takes Two, I'm just going to speed through these, and Sifu are all coming to Switch. Front Mission First Remake, and Front Mission 2 Remake get a new look. The first one will be released in November, and the second will be in 2023. It was reconfirmed that Front Mission 3 is also in the works. Where was I? Oh, Front Mission? Yeah, so those Front Mission games are coming out. What? Stop again? Alright. Technical difficulties, folks. But, yeah, so as I was saying, Front Mission's coming back. Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End, and The Secret Key will sail to Switch in early 2023. They just keep pumping these out for every platform.
I mean, it's probably the same engine with the same assets, and they just retool everything for a new layout and new gameplay feel, and presto bingo.
That's February 24th, 2023. And then Tales of Symphonia Remastered will let fans of the GameCube title experience the game's adventure once more. Tales of Symphonia Remastered will be released on Switch in early 2023 and will let fans of the GameCube title and newcomers alike once again experience the story of Lloyd, Colette, and more. I saw people kind of mad about this game because it's going to be locked at 30 FPS. And I guess the original was 60 FPS. And that just is
the
weird.
Original GameCube release was 60 FPS, and then when it came to PS2, they dropped it down to 30, probably because the PS2 hardware was less powerful than the GameCube hardware. But they did add more content to it, kind of like a director's cut, if you will. So what we're getting is essentially a port of the PS2 release.
Yeah, you would think they would do a port of the GameCube. I don't know.
They did take a look at the PS2 release, which is also the Steam release, and up the frame rate to 60, and it just broke the game logic.
Well,
so it's really baked in there. It's not just a question of upping the frame rate that would just fix the things or make it as you think it would.
Oh well.
There's a lot more involved. When it comes to behavioral.
That's just
input.
unfortunate though. So whatever. I'm not really interested in that. So.
It's probably because they also don't have the source code for the GameCube version anymore.
Right.
But some people are contesting that theory. So unless Bandai Namco comes out with an official word, we got nothing
I would have
else.
preferred a different Tales game. Get a remaster. One that hasn't been remastered yet. But I get why Symphonia, because it's the most popular one. So. Or one of them.
Yes, Symphonia is essentially the Final Fantasy VII of the Tales franchise.
And then Danganronpa creators have announced Master Detective Archives Rain Code. From the creators of Danganronpa, Master Detective Archives Rain Code will cast players as the amnesiac detective Yuma as they work to solve crimes in a corporate-controlled metropolis that never stops raining. It'll be out in spring 2023. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah,
has the same artist as
Danganronpa,
and it's very obvious.
Yeah, but this isn't from Tokyo Games.
No,
I
think it is. I think this is one of the games that was announced in the group of games that they announced a couple years ago.
But no involvement from Uchikoshi, right?
I'd have to check on that. I don't think so for this one.
I only saw
but.
Yeah, I only saw the creators of Danganronpa, but not the Zero Escape trilogy.
But I could also see them just leaving that out.
Sure, but yeah, it's such a good marketing get not to have that in. It's so weird.
It is scenario Kodaka designed comment. Yeah, I don't see anything about Uchiko. Like maybe he helped on here, but we might not find out until a little later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still excited for that. I still need to play Danganronpa 3.
It's on Game Pass.
Oh, I have it. I just haven't gotten around to it. SpongeBob, The Cosmic Shake swims to Switch in 2023. And they were like, and it has the show's voice actors. Because I guess in some older SpongeBob games, they did not use the voice actors for some of the characters. And it was like really obvious.
Well, probably it's that game publishers thought who's going to care or pay attention.
And then years later, somebody did.
Could also, yeah, it's also probably a case of, as we have seen with Crunchyroll these days, that they maybe didn't want to negotiate with union actors.
There's also supposedly like a spiritual successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, that one. Good, I guess,
cool.
for the SpongeBob fans.
The fans of that game in particular. I'm curious about it. It looks pretty good, I think, for a 3D platformer.
Yeah, it looks charming enough.
Rune Factory 3 is getting a new life in 2023, and a new Rune Factory is also on the way. More farming! Rune Factory 3 was first released on Nintendo DS in Japan in 2009, and like many other games in this direct, will be getting a new life on Switch in 2023. It'll have them farming, building relationships with locals, caring for monsters, and much more. There will even be a new mode that will let you enjoy quality time with your in-game spouse. It was confirmed. It was also confirmed a brand new Rune Factory game. No, it was like a new Rune Factory series, they said. They didn't even say game. And I was like, that... Alright.
Well, I mean, the copy here says, additionally, it was confirmed that a brand new Rune Factory game
No, but during the direct,
released.
they said series. So that was weird.
I mean, we could be splitting hairs at this point, because it could mark the start of a new
Yeah, it could
series,
be just a spin-off.
It's just a new Rune Factory game being announced, so it's neither here nor there.
And then Various Day Life is an immersive RPG that is available now. Journey to the continent of Antoesia in the immersive RPG Various Day Life that features job progression, strategic exploration, and an innovative battle system. Furthermore, it's available today on Switch. It was originally released on Apple Arcade services in 2019. Oh, and it's also the artist from Bravely Default.
Yoshida?
Maybe? Like, the character designs are, like, you can definitely...
Akihiko
You can definitely
Yoshida,
tell from the character designs. I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Radiant Silver Gun arrives later. Is out now. Again, classic arcade shoot 'em up gameplay. Will bring 1998 arcade classic of the same name to Switch. Game features 5 different types of weapons and tasks players with taking down enemies of the same color for a big bonus. A lot of people were actually pretty excited about this because it's just a very beloved shoot 'em up, I guess.
Yeah.
Factorio, which had a bit of drama with its one of its having like a problematic creator or something. I don't know the whole details, but it's like this is an indie game where you were building a rocket and using resources. I don't know. This was like the weirdest thing. It's like, all right.
I mean, it's basically a resource management sim.
Launches on October 28th. Ib is a creepy adventure game set in an art gallery, which I'm like, that's actually pretty interesting. Stars a young girl who must unravel what is actually going on. Choices matter and will determine which of the 7 endings players will get to see. Oddballers is a party game that supports up to 6 players locally and online. Oddballers is a party game filled with mini games and a ton of customization options, and it will support local and online play with up to 6 players when it arrives on Switch in 2023. Then Fitness Boxing, Fist of the North Star is a workout game for Switch. The world of Fist of the North Star and Fitness are set to combine in Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star. In March 2023, players will be able to use their fists to become boxing champions. Well, I don't think Adam Bankhurst knew much about Fist of the North Star to write a summary like that.
Why?
And just writing a summary like that is like, oh, based on the animated manga series. But
I mean, sure, but it's probably on the scale, not on the scale of every other piece of news that came out during this direct.
Or for me, that's a pretty big deal. That's hilarious and awesome.
I mean, it is hilarious, but sure.
Give me more anime workout games. I'm getting this day one. The fitness. I've played a little bit of the fitness boxing demos, and this is the push I need.
Sure.
I just kind of wish it was like an anime I was more familiar with. But Fist of the North Star is fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm surprised.
I'm wondering how.
Surprised they didn't do like Megalobox or like Hajime no Ippo.
I think Hajime no Ippo would have been a better fit. Megalobox might be for the younger crowd, but Hajime no Ippo probably had a bigger market awareness.
That might have been too much of it's the boxing manga, and it's a boxing game. Like maybe they didn't want to be that obvious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a Dragon Ball one, or what any anime characters are shown working out in.
I mean, they could keep adding DLC like this.
Well, they would be their own game.
So, you can only work out so much with a Dragon Ball skin.
Right. Or a Fist of the North Star skin. Or a
Fist of the North Star skin, yeah.
But yeah, I'll totally get that. Then Just Dance 2023, which, you know, whatever, it's Just Dance. And then Endless Dungeon, procedurally generated roguelite set in space, which is also co-op, 4-player co-op, and you're making it out of a space station that's been overrun by monsters. And that's it for that. That's it for that Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, it was a pretty jam-packed Direct.
Yeah. I'll never, yes, there were a lot of Japanese games, and some people were like, oh, that Direct was mid, and I was like, really? But...
I mean, if you're not into Japanese games or farming sims, it might
then why
not
do you have
be
a Switch?
For you.
If you're not into Japanese games, why do you have a Switch?
I mean, that's not totally
all
fair.
Nintendo games Nintendo is a Japanese company.
Sure, but the portability does not only lend itself to just Japanese games.
I'm just joshing around. It's just
I know.
Sometimes it just feels really weird when like I'll be like, yeah, that was pretty good, and people are like, eh. I was like,
I mean, it's fair enough. Like, I've played Stardew Valley.
No, the farming things, whatever. They put too many in one present. No, I agree. They put too many in the same presentation. That was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of a presentation, I went at. This is you for the next one.
Okay. Next up, we have PlayStation State of Play September 2022.
And you can just cover the... Like, you don't have to do all the extra stuff. You can cover the Japan developed game specifically.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Okay.
Because there's one there I really don't want to cover.
We're going really long over with our time, so I'm gonna be as succinct as possible. Tekken 8 officially revealed. By the way, this is by Ryan Dinsdale for IGN. Tekken 8 has been officially revealed, and it's looking hella good. I think it's making use of Unreal Engine 5, and it's really impressive looking. Which probably will have me replaying Tekken 7 or
I thought about getting Pokken.
But we'll
I know it's not the same thing, but whatever.
No, it's not.
Close enough.
Yakuza Ishin was also announced, which was really surprising.
One step closer to Dead Souls Kiwami with online co-op. My dream. Maybe one day. There's a non-zero chance now.
I mean, there's always a non-zero chance, but we'll see. Sin Duality was also announced, which looks like third-person mech game?
Something like that. It was kind of hard to tell because the mech was weird. It looked almost a little bit like Death Stranding with the big field.
Yeah. Well, I think that the other one, was it Pragmata? That one looks like Death Stranding. Just the vibes of it.
Was Pragmata the one that Capcom hasn't said anything about in a while with the astronaut?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, what else?
Rise of the Ronin.
But real quick, there was also Project Eve renamed as Stellar Blade. It isn't a Japanese developed game, but it is a Korean developed game, which does bear mentioning these days. It's looking good. It's probably for the DMC and Bayonetta crowd, and for those who like their ladies of a certain variety.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Yoko Taro would be proud. Neo developer announces open world samurai game Rise of the Ronin, and I am just in disbelief at how pretty this game looks and how
That's
cool
why
it
it's not
looks.
until 2024.
yeah, it won't come out until 2024. But I'm left scratching my head as how they're managing this. Wolong and probably a bajillion Dynasty Warrior games and Dynasty Warrior spin-offs.
Magic. Sheer willpower.
Yeah, they are busy. They are really busy. But yeah, it looks really cool, and they said they wouldn't have been able to pull this off without the popularity of Ghost of Tsushima.
I think I'm gonna, since we're going a little,
since
we're gonna go over time, I'm gonna take a few stories, not a ton, just the ones I don't really think are that big.
I'll just go as quickly as possible. Next up, we have Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, announced for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is by the one and only, the legend himself, Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Publisher Sega and developer Ryoga Gotoku Studio have announced action-adventure game Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name for the above-mentioned consoles. The game will shed light on Kazuma Kiryu's perspective following the events of Yakuza 6, the Song of Life leading up to Like a Dragon 8. It will be about half the size of a regular Yakuza Like a Dragon game. Which, it's a Gaiden, it's a short story.
Is that what that means?
So, Gaiden means side story. So, you can kind of look at it as ground zeros leading up to Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah, something like that. Really surprising that they brought back Kazuma Kiryu. Or that. And in the newest Like a Dragon game, he's sporting a K-pop hairdo.
Yeah.
Also of note, they changed the name from Yakuza to Like a Dragon, which is more in line with how it's actually titled in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's probably better for marketability because obvious reasons. And maybe this will make it more enticing for Nintendo to add it to the Switch's lineup. But yeah, that's something I can't really say for sure.
So, and also Like a Dragon 8 was officially announced for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's due out in 2024. It's going to be turn-based, like Yakuza Like a Dragon was. Ichiban is still the protagonist, but Kiryu will. But what was said later was that Kiryu and Ichiban will have separate parties.
Yeah, so they will be dual protagonists and have their own separate parties, as you said, which kind of reminds me of Yakuza 0, where Majima and Kiryu have separate stories that eventually
So I know
coalesce.
some fans are annoyed at them bringing Kiryu back because, Yakuza 6 was supposed to be the end of his story, and then Yakuza 7 was supposed to be more of just like a cameo type thing, passing the torch type of thing. But then bringing it back just feels weird. But I hope we get a good explanation in the Gaiden game.
I mean,
or at least good enough.
It's always tricky when it comes to storytelling. And I'm waging a guess that they must have an excellent reason in bringing him back. Because when it comes to storytelling in the Like a Dragon games, they're pretty good and pretty thoughtful in how they approach things.
It's his clone. His long-lost twin.
Please, dear God, no. I can only take so much.
It's his long-lost twin.
Listen, I draw the line at grown men in diapers, okay?
Well, then you didn't finish that.
Okay, next up, we have Judgment and Lost Judgment now available for PC. This is by Sal Romano once again for Gamatsu. Publisher Sega and developer Ryoga Gotoku Studio have released Judgment and its sequel, Lost Judgment, for PC via Steam for respectively $39.99 and $59.99. This is also surprising news if you followed the goings-on when it comes to this game, because The talent agency for the main actor,
Johnny and Associates, right?
Threatening to. Yeah, we're threatening to pull their support for the Judgment franchise if Sega would put this game or both games on PC, for fear of people modding.
Right. Inappropriate things.
Yeah. With their brand, which I get, but also you just saying that invited
right
the PC modding community to release the Kraken. So I
remember somebody, was it like the founder of Johnny and Associates or like the head honcho or something? Somebody passed away a couple months ago, and I wonder if this has to do with that or is it unrelated. Like,
I think it's unrelated.
Okay. Like they finally just struck some kind of deal, I guess.
They just parked the dump truck of money in front of their office.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That's speculation, by the way. I don't want anyone coming after me.
So also, Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, confirmed for simultaneous worldwide release across PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. So it was kind of just re-announced because we hadn't heard anything about it in a while.
Yeah.
It is planned for a simultaneous global release. Developers are Game Studio and Kai Graphics. Release date was not announced. Gameplay still looks good. More of an action game, not a turn-based game like a traditional Dragon Quest, but an action-based game. A little more akin to like Dragon Quest Hero, not quite Dragon Quest Heroes, but a little more akin to that.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Like more hack and slash with your sword versus pressing buttons for a menu.
Looks good and fun.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm excited for that. Probably next year, if I had to guess. Even though it has no release date.
I mean, Square Enix has a jam-packed release calendar going on these days, so it's fine if you move something to next year. We'll forgive you.
I think it was next year regardless.
Yeah. Next up, we have Triangle Strategy coming to PC on October 13th. This is by Sao Romano.
This is the Square Enix corner.
Square Enix. Yeah, Square Enix will release strategy RPG Triangle Strategy for PC via Steam on October 13th, the company announced. Triangle Strategy first launched for Switch on March 4th worldwide.
Yeah, I need to pick it up.
It's looking really good. I think this one has 60 FPS and a better resolution when it comes to the characters. Character sprites, that is, because it was kind of looking blurry on the Switch. Not by any means unplayable, but this might be better for those of the aging kind.
Yeah.
When it comes to eyesight. So yeah, go ahead and play it. It's a really good game. I played through one of the routes. I still have a couple to do if I ever have the time for it, but it's a really fun strategy RPG.
Yeah.
Or I should say tactics RPG.
Yeah. Next is Star Ocean. The Divine Force demo is out now. It came out on September 20th. The demo allows you to play from the start of Raymond's story until he arrives in Delric Village, which is about 2 hours worth of content. So I have it downloaded, but I haven't started it yet. But I've been hearing it's actually
same.
Like it plays well, it just doesn't look great. Which I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a Star Ocean.
Yeah, it sounds like the last 3 to 4 Star Ocean games. I saw gameplay footage and it looks really fun in combat, but I am not a fan of how it looks. How do I explain this? It looks like, you know how I'm always very hesitant to call something by the books or mediocre or run of the mill, because that means nothing these days. This looks really run of the mill.
I forgot if it was
generic and
this game or a different JRPG where somebody was like, it looks like this looks like something that released for the Xbox 360, and I'm like, that's not really a drawback for me.
I mean, it's not a drawback, but it's also not showing off whatever the artist is capable of, I think. Because to me, it looks like their first pass in a design.
Some of the character designs, yeah.
Yeah, in the design phase. Like, oh, this is just, the rough draft, right? And
yeah, the meme, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it looks so lacking in personality and in detail, and like the main character, the Bon Jovi looking one, has scars on his face and his body, and it looks like it's just a sticker and not an actual scar on his face or body. And his name is
Raymond. Then again, look, it's not Edge Maverick.
Bored. It was a few podcasts ago where I said it looks like the people designing the world have no idea how a world looks or functions in terms of infrastructure or architecture. They just use the template and that's all they took from it. It's like it's no Scarlet Nexus, and it's definitely no Tales of Arise.
But I'm looking forward to it. I will play the demo when I get the chance.
I'm not.
It's better than 5, I'm sure. It'll be better than 5. Yeah, I know. That's
Fingers
not
crossed.
A high bar.
That's not a high bar.
But that's all it has to do is be better than 5.
Yeah.
I hear mixed things about 4, so I don't know if it's going to be better than 4, but it just has to be better than 5.
The only good thing of 4 that I've heard is the battle system. That's it.
Speaking of good battle systems, Gigabash Godzilla collaboration announced. All these articles have been from Gamatsu, by the way. I don't think we clarified that. Passion Republic Games has announced a collaboration between its multiplayer arena brawler Gigabash and Godzilla for an upcoming update. Which is great because, one, we haven't gotten a Godzilla fighting game since that awful one in like 2014, 2015.
I want to say Godzilla was part of a game recently, wasn't it? Call of Duty.
No, but
that doesn't count.
Godzilla's been in stuff, but there hasn't been a proper Godzilla fighting game in like 6-7 years.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
In like 7 years. So this is great, especially because like a lot of these kaiju games we see coming out now are inspired by like the lack of Godzilla games or lack of kaiju games. Gigabash and Dawn of the Monsters.
I wouldn't say they were designed from the
but they're probably. I'm sure they're
like for the love of.
But like I'm sure they were partially inspired by that. At least one of them was. But Gigabash is a fun time. So I do hope this helps Gigabash out, because Gigabash deserves more love. It has a lot of charm to it. Also has a very short campaign, so that's nice.
I'll take your word for it. Next up, we have Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered, now available for Xbox Series, Xbox One, and Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom coming in 2023. Once again, Sal Romano Gamatsu. As the header says, Ni no Kuni 1 is available via Game Pass, and it will be, I think it's available right now, right?
Yes.
Yes, right now, and if you so choose, you can download it and play it, and it's bound to be a good time.
I was like, oh my god, a level 5 game on Xbox. I'm like, wait, publisher, Bandai Namco, right. So that I don't think level 5 was why.
I mean, it's still level 5. Maybe they had to sign off something.
Maybe they had to sign off on something real quick, but I don't. But yeah,
sure.
Yeah, but besides that, sure. I don't think.
But it's still nice to see them, on Xbox. I own
Right.
both games on PC.
Yeah, same.
I have not yet played them.
I played the first one. Well, I haven't played the remastered version.
I've also played the first one on PS3 back in the day, but never finished it.
I did finish it.
But it's a very good-looking game. It has Studio Ghibli all over it. Joe Hisaishi doing the music. So
I think Joe Hisaishi did the music for both. I think
the first one.
No, didn't he do it for both?
And
then it's just the.
Wait, is he the main composer for the second one?
I think so.
Let's see. Nino Kuni 2. I don't know why I wrote 11, but okay.
We're not there yet.
Fingers crossed. Nino Kuni 2. Where are you?
Revenant Kingdom.
Yeah. Let's see. Music by Joe Hisaishi. You are correct.
So even if they still have the Ghibli composer, even if they don't have the Ghibli animated cutscenes, but the art style is pretty much still there.
Yeah.
I like Wrath of the White Witch better than Revenant Kingdom. But Revenant Kingdom wasn't bad. It had really fun boss fights, I think. And then there's the mobile game, which I never really played, but
I did, surprisingly. It's fun and colorful. I like it a lot more than Tower of Fantasy, which also released recently.
So next, I'm moving on to a different anime game. One Piece Odyssey launches January 13th, 2023. So there was never a release, like a solid date announced for this, but this was pretty much delayed out of 2022 because that was the released window last time we heard of it. Or last time we heard about it. One Piece Odyssey will launch for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and PC via Steam on January 12th, 2023 in Japan, and January 13th worldwide. There's a standard edition, a digital deluxe edition that comes with an extra costume and like scenario stuff, just some items. The limited edition comes with a figure of Luffy and the video game exclusive character Lim and all the other stuff. And then the collector's edition comes with like a collector's box, the figurine, the steel case, the postcards, and all the deluxe stuff. I'm excited for that. It's pretty much, a lot of people have described it as like basically one Dragon Quest but One Piece, and that,
I mean, you could say that about any
turn-based JRPG. But from previews, it seems like the gameplay is actually solid.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
Which it's so funny seeing that the developer is Ilka, and last year they were getting all that flack for doing the Pokemon remakes, but then it's like, you guys, these guys helped on Dragon Quest 11. Like, it's not like they're known for making bad games or anything, or bad remakes.
Yeah.
It's just Pokemon gave them a lot of negative attention. But hopefully this will give them a lot of more positive attention.
Negative attention? I'd say the remake was competent enough.
But I think a lot of people who didn't assume that the remakes were only made by Game Freak were like, oh, Ilka's so bad, this remake, and it's like, no, I don't think that. No, they probably had like guidelines, and who knows.
And probably a very short turnaround.
Yeah. And this one has been in development for a while, especially because there's a missing character. Because Jinbei, the 10th Straw Hat, was not part of the crew when this game started development a couple years ago, and now he is. So he's not in the game. Not yet. They might add him later.
He could be a DLC character.
I can see that happening. But if they didn't have him in mind when first making it, at least not as a playable character, if they had him at all. And then let's see. We have Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection adds 3D Mega Man.exe title screen, online battles, and chip trading. It features a voice version, 3D version of Mega Man.exe to access your personal Navi on the title select screen. It'll behave similarly to the PET screen from Mega Man Battle Network series, with various reactions based on your play and control style. And they got the in both Japanese and English, they got the voice actors back from the anime series. Mega Man NT
cool.
Warrior or Mega Man.exe, depending on which version you watch. So yeah, they got Andrew Francis back. And like there were some people who was like, oh my god, they got him to the person they got almost sounds exactly like the person who voiced him. I was like, oh well, that is the person. He's a little out of practice, but you know that happens.
I wouldn't be able to tell
that
you.
was like decades ago. You know, you're gonna sound a little off probably.
Next up, we have Street Fighter 6 adds Ken, Blanca, Dalsim, and E Honda. Closed beta test set for October 7th to 10th. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Capcom will host a closed beta test for Street Fighter 6 from October 7th to October 10th across PS5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam, the company announced. Applications are available on the official website. The closed beta test will feature crossplay as well as 8 playable characters and the following modes: Ranked Match, Casual Match, Battle Hub Match, Open Tournament, Extreme Battle, Game Center, and Training Mode. Street Fighter 6 is looking really good, so I hope to get my hands on it during the closed beta. I mean, the website, the sign-up website was kind of borked as soon as they announced it, but we'll see.
I just watched the Street Fighter 2 animated movie for the first time. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that wasn't my first exposure to Street Fighter. I did play the SNES
No, my
game,
first was
but
4.
I do remember that I was probably too young for that Chun-Li scene.
Oh boy. I remember seeing that specifically because like one night I was just like chilling on the couch flipping through TV channels. I was like, oh, Street Fighter the movie on the Sci-Fi channel. Oh, I'll check it out. And then like it was like right when that happened, I was like, whoa, what the heck?
So I remembered it as a very cool looking movie, animated movie from back in the day.
Well animated movie.
Yeah. And then a few years later, I saw headlines about, the Chun-Li scene is very infamous. And I was like, really? I don't remember anything. And then I looked it up, I think a few months ago. And I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. It is an infamous scene.
But yeah, good movie.
Next up.
Not because of that.
I mean, if you want to say because of that, I won't.
No, but there's like, the fighting is really well done, and I mean the voice acting isn't great, but also Bryan Cranston voicing Fei Long is something. Yeah, quite an interesting choice. Back when he voiced anime for a little bit.
Something. Yeah. Next up, we have Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunan Unification Wars announced for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Konami has announced Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC via Steam, and it will launch in 2023. You can click on the article if you want to see an overview of everything at it. It looks really good. They've redone a lot of the visuals.
And now, and people there are still people that'll claim, oh, the originals look better, or like, oh, they could have just why didn't they just do that with the original game? They could have made it look like that. And I'm like, no,
the originals did not look better. I was there. They did not look better. It does kind of look like they used RPG Maker to spruce it up, but
fair.
In other instances, they do look like they put in actual effort into the visuals, and you know what? I'm very excited for this. I have
they decided to finally get it out of the vault once they saw how big the Eiyuden Chronicles Kickstarter was getting.
I mean, that must feel like such a well, I wouldn't say insult, but kind of salt in the wounds for the creators of Eiyuden Chronicles, because they were trying to get a new Suikoden off the ground, but they weren't able to.
I mean, it's still
so
going
they decided to make their own.
Oh.
Yeah, they're still going to, but now that Konami's like, by the way, we have this. Don't pay attention to the other game. We have our own. Nothing to see here. Okay, so let's see. Next up, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot coming to PS5 and Xbox Series in 2023. Season Pass 2 announced. This is also by Saruman Fukamatsu. Publisher Bandai Namco and developer CyberConnect 2 have announced Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Season Pass 2, which will consist of 3 new story downloadable content, as well as PS5 and Xbox Series versions of the game. Both Season Pass 2 and the new versions will launch in 2023. The first story downloadable content of Season Pass 2, that's such an awkward name, is titled Additional Scenario Bardock Alone Against Fate. It focuses on content from the Bardock Father of Goku TV special and depicts a complete reproduction of the story.
So there's several things about this. So I'm glad that they're focusing on that TV special and not the other Bardock one. You
mean the one from the manga?
The Super Saiyan one. The one where he goes back in time and then he turns Super Saiyan and fights Frieza's grandfather, Chilled.
Is that an official story?
It was animated. They made an anime of it. It's not canon. It's not canon, but it's a thing. But Dragon Ball Minus is canon. So I'm wondering if they'll include Dragon Ball incorporate Dragon Ball Minus in there somehow.
There is a bit of Dragon Ball Super where we flashback on Bardock and how his actions influenced what Goku and his friends were experiencing currently
in the manga. Because I read that,
in the manga
arc and stuff.
No, it's past the granola arc.
Past the granola arc. The granola arc just ended.
Wait. No. I'm confusing myself with another arc. The names are so silly that I confuse myself. Anyway,
what? You don't like the granola arc on Planet Cereal featuring oatmeal?
Listen, they don't get any points for originality, okay? Players will be able to fight against Frieza in a climactic boss encounter and interact with other Saiyans and members of the Frieza Force between missions.
Like Pineapple. No, Pineapple's from Chilled's time. He wasn't alive.
No, I know. I'm just cringing on the inside. Next up, we have
the other thing about that is there was also another Dragon Ball Z thing announced, is that in Dragon Ball Z The Breakers, or is it Dragon Ball The Breakers, you can play as the farmer.
Okay.
Well, because it's a whole game. It's the game where you're basically humans running away from Dragon Ball villains.
Yeah, I know.
Basically a horror game. Yeah. I'm very interested in it.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Not only humans. I think you can play as Oolong as well.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Next up, we have Wolong Fallen Dynasty demo for PS5, Xbox Series, now available until September 26th. Also, Saurumano for Gamatsu. Demo for action RPG Wolong Fallen Dynasty is now available for PS5 and Xbox via their respective stores. Publisher Koei Tecmo and developer Team Ninja will release. No, that's okay. Ignore that. It will only be available until September 26th. Okay, that's weird copy text, but okay. I played it a little bit.
So did I. It's Neo 3.
It's feeling. Well, I'd say it's a lot looser and quicker than Neo. Which is probably great because Neo could at times be bogged down by its systems, I felt. Because I felt like I had to be active actively thinking about everything I was doing. Like, okay, which stance am I doing? Okay, which weapon am I using? Okay, am I using my abilities? Okay, brain overload. But this feels like kind of, more action heavy than. Well, that's not true. I mean, Neo was action heavy. Okay. Anyway, this is a lot more fluid than Neo. It looks really good. I can't wait to get my hands on the full product.
I do like that they release these demos and then to look for feedback. Like they did that with Neo as well. They did that starting from the first Neo, I want to say. Because that had an alpha and a beta. This one didn't even have an alpha or
really
a beta.
cool.
Like it doesn't. It's just demo.
Yeah. But I'm guessing it'll have a second demo. But we'll see. It looks really good. It's fun so far. So yeah, we'll see how it peters out.
And then our last story is something I added. So Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher, which still does not have a Western release date, but comes out in Japan and Asia on October 20th, added a pre-order bonus in addition to the Sevenger Giant of Life skin and some items. You also get the Science Special Search Party Mochi, which is a Mochi from Monster Rancher dressed up in the Science Special Search Party suit from, I think, the original Ultraman. But you also have to remember, this is Ultra Kaiju Monster Breeder, or Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher, not Breeder. Whatever. This is Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher. So this Mochi is huge. And that's kind of hilarious, just to see a huge Mochi. Yeah. Anyway, that's all. That's all for our Tokyo Game Show news.
Yeah. What was for you the biggest thing?
I mean, Yakuza 8. I mean, that was my game of 2020. Yakuza 8 and well, that's really the first thing that comes to mind for me is Yakuza 8.
I mean, respect. For me, did I have?
Or I'm sorry, Like a Dragon 2, or
yeah, Like a Dragon 2.
Or
no,
Like a Dragon 8.
Like a Dragon 8. It's officially yes, officially Like a Dragon 8. Yeah. For me, it was probably Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 does look great.
It looks ridiculously good, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. But yeah, that was our Tokyo Game Show special. Thank you for listening.
We'll hopefully be back in October for a horror special. Not that we play horror games, but we've had Resident Evil DLC is coming up. Ghostwire Tokyo came out a while back.
Dear God, don't remind me.
Evil Dead the game. It's not a Japanese developed game, but still, I have it.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
It's
Dragon Ball The Breakers. I mean, it is pretty much a horror game.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be back for that, and then and then in November we plan on being back for Pokemon
yes.
I don't know, because there's the Game Awards. I don't know how close Pokemon releases to the Game Awards, because I mean we could always do.
I think within a month.
Within a couple weeks, I think.
There will also. Yeah, there's also rumors that there will be at least another Direct.
Well, if we're not back,
and I'm guessing
if we're not back for one, we'll definitely be back for the other.
Yeah, you'll see us when you see us. Okay. Well, thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure. Stay safe out there. Be healthy. Be wise. Be kind to each other. Have fun. Be kind to yourself. And we'll see you next time.
Matane.